Welcome in, folks, here on the Believe in FCS Football podcast, part of the Believe Podcast Network. Sean, what are you doing with your hands?
I'm freezing cold.
You were like lathering them with something. Is that how you warm your hands? Is that what the bit?
Hey,
How
you know
cold
what?
is it in Virginia?
Guess what? Linemen actually they don't get the nice little hand warmers that specialists get. So that is how warming your hands works.
I
You
had to
actually
buy
rub
my
them
own
together.
hand warmer. I was not provided with one.
Were you allowed to wear one?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no one
okay
was
then. All right,
stopping
thank
you
you
from
very much.
wearing one.
No, yes, there was.
How
Because you're in the
cold?
trenches.
How cold is it in Virginia?
It's freezing.
What's
It's
freezing?
46 degrees.
That is pretty freezing. I don't think I'm fully prepared for this weekend.
It's going to be warm.
Is it really?
It's going to be like 60 degrees game day.
I so freaking hope you're correct because
I'll-
I don't
I'll
have
double
I don't
check
feel
right
like
now.
I'm not packing a coat. I'm telling you right now.
No,
I
you
will
should because
suffer.
the nights. It was when I was in Lambeau. It was 50 degrees during the day, and night it was definitely colder than 50. So
Well, I wait, but we're gonna be going out. I'm not going to a bar wearing a coat, unless that's the going
you
out
don't have a
attire
good
in
eno-
South
you don't have
Dakota.
a cool enough coat then.
I don't actually. I do have that Armani one. I don't know
Oh,
if you've
you know
seen
what?
that
Hey
one.
everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Sean Anderson. That was Joe DeLeone. You can follow us on Twitter at
Are
Sanderson
you
Radio
ending
at
the
Joe
show?
DeLeone. And then that's it. A minute 30 before Joe really actually made me consider leaving the studio. He actually genuinely with that statement. Yeah,
You just You just questioned my drip, so I had to rebuttal.
Yeah, in Brookings this weekend, Friday, high of 61, low of
Good.
38. So take note of that.
We're already very distracted. So I'm Joe
Saturday,
DeLeone,
high
joined
of
by Sean
64,
Anderson,
low of 43.
my former teammate, former roommate at the University of Rhode Island, where we were former
Sunrise
Division
at 11
One
a.m. on Saturday, sunset at
FCS
6:09 p.m.
football player. Should we do this every episode? You just get a weather report.
Just a weather report. What do we
interrupting weather report. We'll bring Colin in to do that. I think that would be really useful.
60% humidity. Stop trying to get Colin involved.
I would like to get Colin involved. He deserves it.
What has he done?
He's just been there. He has been there. He provided us with a 15-minute conversation last show. How many of our other listeners done that?
That 15-minute conversation set me back so much this past week in just work that I needed to do. Because for everybody that's out there, you're like, oh, Joe and Sean, they have a lot of fun on the show. We do. But when it stretches past 40 minutes, then I'm sitting here like, oh, well, I guess my night is over when I didn't plan for it to be over. So I push work into the next morning, and then it's work on work, and then that's how it works. So, and then I go downstairs and I watch the Giants absolutely duke all up in their own pants against the Chiefs. You guys should have won that game, Joe. You should have.
Don't even get me started.
But the 40-minute shows destroy my evenings, especially because Buddy is on the West Coast. So he's still got the rest of his night. I don't.
Yeah, but
yeah, okay.
It still doesn't mean I don't still have to then work 3 hours after. Whatever. Today we're talking about a number of things. The premier game that we're highlighting is the one that we're going to be attending, which is the South Dakota State North Dakota State game. We're going to touch on the trip a little bit, some things that you should maybe expect. We'll also do our FC estimates, but we're going to hit on these really, really important games that are happening this weekend because there are a ton of big ranked matchups. We couldn't fit them into this week's show just because there's so many of them. But the ones that come to mind, that Montana State Eastern Washington game is going to be absolutely huge. And then I think the other one was Southern Illinois was playing Missouri State, and that one's pretty big as well. But Sean, before we get into that stuff, can you just tell our listeners about Bet Online?
I don't know, maybe.
Shit, maybe. Go do it.
Say please.
Please do the read.
Okay.
And do the read, and I don't leave you at the airport in Minnesota.
I get there before you. I'll
I have the car.
I'll steal your identity.
Someone did give us a very nice recommendation of somewhere to go eat.
I got a bunch also.
But
from the other stuff, yeah.
I was gonna say in Minnesota, so like not much we can do there.
Was it the taco place?
I gotta check. Do the read.
All right, yeah, whatever. If you're listening to this show right now and Joe's saying do the read, that only means one thing. I'm going to be talking about Bet Online, and they are back and better than ever with a new web interface for the start of the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. You're sitting at a bar, you're having a good time, you want to have a better time? pull up betonline.ag. Say, oh, I'm going to watch some NBA basketball regular season. This is pretty awful, but now I got some money on the game, and now I'm invested. I'm high-fiving people next to me. I'm flipping people off next to me. We're getting in a shouting match. Security's coming over. I get bounced. He gets bounced. No fight breaks out, but it's a lot of yelling in the street. He gets in an Uber. I get an Uber. We go home both thinking we're the winner. But at the end of the night, you're thinking, I didn't get my ass beat, and I had a good time, and my bet hit. So head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. You want to sit in that bar playing pool and darts and pop a shot? You stink. Put some money on the line. BetOnline, where the game starts.
I was so distracted by trying to find these restaurants that a friend of the show, Bill, sent in. I didn't realize what you were saying, and it took me midway through. What did I miss? We're talking about a fight? Well, I don't need to know.
It's just me making up a little scenario of somebody wanting to get a little action in their life, a little Fight Club stuff going on.
Quite
That's
literally.
what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of hardworking listeners that we have that either run a catering business or play brass instruments or do whatever. So if they need to blow off some steam, put down some bets, drink a couple beers, get in a fist fight in the parking lot. It's all good stuff.
So Bill sent us, though, by the way, he
Believe does not condone violence. All right, I think I've been taking some liberties.
We condone violence 100%.
You know what? I don't.
Right.
I've been walking.
No, but so our good friend Bill over here, it's really kind of funny the way I got to send you a screenshot of this because the way that he put it together is it's kind of like a review. You remember Stefan from SNL?
I do, yes.
He didn't describe it in like a jovial way, but the way that he phrased stuff, it was very detailed, and like the word delectable was used. Matt's Bar is one of them. It's a dive bar setting, so you and Sean should feel quite at home.
You know it.
Yeah,
people making bets.
So Sean, we got the trip this weekend.
What are you gonna send me the screenshot?
Not right now.
Why not?
Because we're doing a show.
Yeah, maybe I'd like to read it off and get people involved in what we might be doing.
I got that's in Minnesota. We don't have time to go do that anyways. It doesn't matter.
Where do you have to be?
I have to work. When we get in, we need to get in the car and go so I can work. I got stuff I got to get done. I have to edit a bunch of video. We're going to be traveling the whole day. I have to post a bunch of videos as soon as I get in. So speaking of travel, Sean, I don't know if you looked at your flight plan, but I didn't. I did one of those things where I have never planned a trip on my own before, by the way. I'm now realizing I am not good at it, so I definitely need some reps.
I'm getting to my thing now.
And I did one of those things where a month ago I was like, oh, that should be no problem. Like we need to get here at the same time. We needed to line up and, like whatever. I am such a jackass. I booked a flight for 6 a.m. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. on Friday morning just to get to Minnesota at the same time as you.
Good. Thank you.
Screw you.
What do you mean? I'm glad you're getting up that early. I got to get up early too.
You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m.?
I don't know. Now I got to check on my flight. I'm getting actually paranoid. Even though it says I'm booked, I got a ticket and all that stuff. 8:50, 10:50.
You're walking if you don't have a flight booked.
Dude, I know.
If I had to go out there on my own and I had to pay for everything, I swear to God, I would be so pissed. Do you need me to sit here and wait for you to check?
No. I'm all good.
Okay.
I'm just making sure I have an aisle seat because if I don't, there's going to be some other unhappy passengers.
Speaking on that size,
Still
though,
got it. Let's go.
So I was having a conversation with Chad in the DMs, and we were going back and forth, and so he hit me up and he's like, "How big is Sean?" And this was in response to what we were talking about, responding to Dustin, and I was saying you underestimate how big Sean is, and I gave him the rundown, the full roster size, which Chad could have, now that I think about it, could have just looked you up on the roster. He was saying that he's going to try to get his cousin to come, who is 6'9", 350, and I am praying for that to happen, just so we can get that lineup. What are we doing? I found this out too. Would you have guessed that Brendan's 6'5"? I don't know why I was like so like, oh wow.
He kind of looked like it. He kind of looked like he had a lot more under the whatever it was with his head. He had a big head and a big neck. So I'm like, you know what? He's probably not 5'10". You could kind of tell. Like also, if you see a guy with like little head, little neck on big body is more more rare than big head, big neck on small body. But you can kind of tell just looking at somebody and how their posture is even on a webcam. You're like, oh, that guy's probably pretty tall. What does that mean? I'm bringing my cousin. Are we going to do a Greco-Roman wrestling match in the parking lot? What do we do? I don't want. I want zero physical altercations at this event.
No.
Except for Joe DeLeone.
I think it was like, oh, we're gonna have some big people there. Sean's gonna be there, and I might bring another really big person that's bigger than Sean. I think that's all it was.
What are we in Iceland?
Apparently,
that's the land of the giants and the strongmen, Joe. In case you didn't know, I'll send you a great documentary.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't need Hapthor Bjornsson showing up and making me. Oh, I heard you were the big offensive lineman. Is that what it's going to be?
Apparently.
Am I the what kind of image am I putting on?
So many big dudes are going to be like, I listen to the podcast and I'm bigger than you.
You're not
really
that
hope
tough.
I hope that it's just a line of 6'8" large individuals that feel the need, the inclination to greet you. That's what I want.
I'll meet anybody. I literally anybody I'll meet. Whatever this bit is, I just don't understand the bit. I don't know if I want to.
It's pretty simple. You're a big guy, and there's going to be a lot of people that might be bigger than you or the same size.
It's
a great bit.
It's fine. Yeah, I was in an offensive line room. It was all shapes and sizes. People were taller, people were bigger, heavier, stronger, all that. I'm pretty used to it. So that's why I'm confused about the bit. Whereas people should understand, oh, this offensive lineman is probably pretty comfortable around other people that are big.
Maybe they think you're going to be scared. Maybe that's what it is.
Scared of what? Everyone's going to be nice. What are we making this event up to be? What are we pushing? What are we saying?
I'm just sharing you with the very odd conversation I had with Chad.
That is an odd conversation.
Who shared with me that he has.
He shared with you eight songs after you tweeted out drunkenly that you wanted some in a row.
Wait, let me. Oh wait, yeah, he did that. I forgot he did that.
It was great, but I'm like, why would you just put it in one tweet?
All right, so just a quick rundown before we continue. He said, "Just how big is Sean?" And I said, "LOL, he's 6'6", 320." He says, "LOL, hopefully my cousin is there." I said, "Is your cousin big too?" And he said 6'9", north of 350. And then he just throws in Brendan 6'5". And then I said, "That's fantastic. You got to get your cousin there so Sean looks small." And then he didn't respond to me.
Good for Chad. Don't respond to him. Don't respond to this weasel rat. Nothing.
Weasel rat. All right. So the point is here, if you want to come tailgate with us and you want to come hang out with us before the game, look for the large group of individuals. We will be with the largest group of people outside of the game. That is a guarantee, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, you said it best. The party. What did you say? You were like, I always know where Sean is. You just look up, you look for the backwards hat.
Well, no, it was that whenever we needed to leave and I needed to find Sean, I just looked up and it was just like, oh, there he is. And you usually were somewhere in the corner or on a couch if you weren't standing.
And if you want to find Joe, he's getting yelled at by the host of the house or the host of the party
or my girlfriend
for criticizing it.
On that note though, for anyone who wants to come find us, I think we'll try to tweet out where we're chilling out at. We're definitely gonna be chilling with Chad and Brendan. We confirmed that and that whole group of people over there because we've talked to them so much. But anybody who's interested in meeting up with us, just shoot us a DM, or we'll also make sure to tweet it out and you can come interact. We'll obviously be down to say hi and chat a little bit. The opportunity here is to meet as many people as possible, interact, and turn this into a social event. That's the whole premise.
A social event.
Social event, yeah.
You know what? That's better. Again, I'll reiterate. Don't ask me about the South Dakota State team from 1986. I don't know who they are. I won't know one player on that team. I don't. Don't ask me about South Dakota State players that are currently in the NFL. I don't know.
I'm praying that somebody does that. I need, please, just someone stand next to Sean the whole time and ask him for South Dakota State trivia.
I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't know that. I don't.
You better read up before we get there, man. Somebody is going to do that. Somebody who has not said a word to us that we've never known listens to the show is going to do that. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, hey, did you hear about Ronald Williams' 3-touchdown game? It was a huge one. No, I don't know that. Well, what about Donald Jeffries? You know, he had 124 and 2 tutties in 2008. No, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know. Ask Joe. I'm going to shoot him on over to you. Say, hey, Joe's the real
I don't know either.
brainiac.
The only I'm not smart. What are you talking about? The only the one name that you got to know, which is the greatest player in South Dakota State history, and that is Zach Zenner. That's all you got to. That's just the answer to any question is Zach Zenner.
Got it. Thanks for the tip.
I did. Let's see if anyone picks up on that. So Sean, today the ooh game of the week is the obvious one, which is the South Dakota State North Dakota State battle that is going to be occurring before our very eyes. The marker game, a game that has a lot at stake because North Dakota State can continue to add to their resume that is already starting to look stronger and stronger, but at the same time, South Dakota State has bounced back since the 2 losses that they've had. And this could be an opportunity to re-legitimize themselves, reestablish themselves as a really strong team. And you mentioned before when we started, sorry, I was burp there. You mentioned before we started recording that there's a possibility that we see Isaiah Davis playing in this game. So South Dakota State definitely geared up, ready to rock, and this game has a ton of importance for the playoff landscape.
Yeah, it's going to be an explosive game, I would predict. Normally, these games are. South Dakota State on the year, get this, Joe, 43 total touchdowns on offense, giving up 17 to all opponents thus far in the season. Conversely, North Dakota State, 34 touchdowns total scored on offense, giving up only 7. Only 7. So you might think, oh, North Dakota North Dakota State's defense is just going to shut them down, and South Dakota State only giving up 17 touchdowns. They could have a shot at shutting them. No. This is going to be B.O.B. It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be an explosive game. There's going to be a lot of running, and there's going to be a lot of touchdowns, I think. I'd say it probably ends up like 31-28. Can't pick a winner yet. Waiting for Joe's analysis to sway me one way or another, but it might be the most exciting game of the week. I know Eastern Washington's got a huge game. Southern Illinois got a huge game. And that upcoming Monday show is going to be really, really big just because it's a lot of playoff implications that we're going to be seeing this weekend. But it's probably going to be, I'd say this is probably going to be the most fun game to watch, whether or not we are going to be in the audience or not.
Yeah, this game has a lot coming into it. And the one thing that you have for both of these squads is that they've got really, really talented defenses. They've got defenses that have stymied opponents. They've put up some really good performances. The one thing that I think is going to be a determining factor in this, and I have to come here and admit, I put my foot in my mouth completely when we went on the Splitting Hairs podcast, and I didn't know that North Dakota State was in the midst of a quarterback transition to the young gun Cam Miller. And right now, I think that uncertainty at the quarterback position might actually play a factor in this game. And I know Cam Miller has been a bit more, I don't want to say consistent because we haven't seen enough of him, but he's provided a little bit more juice to the passing attack than Quincy Patterson has. I don't think that you can really be ultra confident in him more than Oladokin, who has been the epitome of relative consistency in a lot of these games.
Yeah, we were on. It's going to sound braggadocious. We were on Oladokin pretty early on the show when we were still playing football.
Yeah, when he was at
Sanford. Yeah, this guy's he's all over he's throwing 600 yards in the game. I think he had a 600-yard game. He won Fat Stats that week. And he's a pretty solid guy to have in that backfield for South Dakota State. And that's priceless, especially at the college football level, because I mean, we see it in the NFL. Sometimes teams can grit out games with a backup quarterback or their defense really steps up no matter what. CC, the Tyrod Taylor-led Bills. Fan of T-Mobile, but that's what that team was. In college, that quarterback position is so incredibly valuable to have somebody that understands how to run an offense. And now, college quarterbacks, every quarterback in college knows how to throw the ball. Everyone that you see in practice is throwing a tight spiral. They're throwing it 40 yards. They're looking sweet. And not going to lie, you're doing your inside drill over at offensive line. And you're like looking over the quarterbacks. They're doing whatever. You're like, oh man, they look good today. You're like, oh man, there's zipping it, frozen rope lasers. These guys are going to dominate. And then you go out on the field, you're like, oh, what happened? Why aren't we moving the ball? Why aren't we matriculating the ball down the field as much as we need to be? And then you're like, oh, it's because they don't fully understand offenses. And that's not a knock to any quarterbacks that we have played with, but it's just something that you see across college football. The good quarterbacks understand how an offense operates, and Oladokin understands, and that's something that's very, very priceless when it comes to college football.
Yeah, certainly priceless. And I actually hit on this at the beginning of the year that through indirect sources, I know that there are some eyes on Oladokin in the professional leagues, not to the extent
Name
that
your sources.
I don't want to anger him. You know who it is.
Text me. Just text me right now.
You don't need to text you. You know
I just
exactly.
wanted to see if you're gonna rat.
I'm not gonna rat. You know exactly who I'm talking about. And our listeners who know me well enough know who I'm talking about. But Oladokin has
Perry Schrader.
Yeah, Perry Schrader. He's got a lot of sources as a law school student.
Is he in law school?
I don't know, and I don't care. Oladokin, though, does have some attention from professional leagues, not to the extent where he's going to get drafted, but some of these all-star games, these senior all-star games, he's going to get interest from those. He'll probably get some rookie minicamp invites, that kind of thing. So the talent is there. Professional teams recognize that the talent is there. I see him maybe being a guy that fits in one of these startup leagues that are going to be popping up in the next couple of years, but you do have to give the nod to Oladokin. I am apologizing to Oladokin and Jackrabbits fans for making that mistake and talking of Patterson when he's actually not been very good this year. It does help, though, that despite not throwing a lot of passes, Cam Miller is completing 72% of them. That is always a positive when you get that. The only thing that kind of concerns me and that's a little bit perplexing, and I guess that they're kind of going back and forth between using them. They might still use Patterson. I just don't really know who you run the ball with if you try to get more snaps to Cam Miller, because right now the leading rusher for this team is Quincy Patterson, and it seems like not really anybody else has been able to get things going because the next closest guy is over 100 yards behind. No, wait, that's my math is off. It's 50, like roughly 50 yards, 40 yards behind Quincy Patterson.
Everybody make note of this math mistake when we get on to FC estimates later. I have some issues. That might need to be brought up.
Did I make a mathematical error?
I don't know, but I'd like to bring up some math myself. It's actually just counting, talking about the parallels of the defenses between South Dakota State and North Dakota State, just with a couple stats, if you wouldn't mind, Joe. Why I think this game is going to be so explosive is because not only are the defenses very similar with the stats, but the offense is very similar with the stats, but the defenses as well. So far this season, South Dakota State has accumulated 25 sacks, 9 interceptions, and 8 forced fumbles, where North Dakota State has had 31 sacks, 8 interceptions, and 9 forced fumbles. Now, for me personally,
31 sacks. Holy crap.
For me personally, those are the 3 biggest categories on defense because I know everybody's now big on pass breakups and the metrics of being in the right spot.
Shut up, nerds.
Yeah, sacks, forced fumbles, interceptions, turn the ball over, get the ball, get them the punt, get the ball in your hands or potentially in your hands. That's what matters to me. And both these teams are very, very similar, at least so far this season, on where those lie. And that is going to make me double down on my point as to why this is going to be such an explosive game to watch.
I don't give a damn about like QBR allowed and completion percentage allowed. We need a metric for how hard you hit the SOB that you're coming after.
What, the sports science Ray Lewis versus battering ram? Those things?
No, it should only be described with like 3 words if a team does it really well. It's like hard, kind of hard, and not that hard.
I would say we could just call that the POW. Let's just call that the
power rating.
Yeah, that's actually what it's called, Madden. I thought I was being clever, and I realized, that's just the abbreviation for hit power.
The box score just says they got his ass. That's all they put in there. There's no numerical breakdown. There's no percentage. There's no rating. It's just they got him.
There's just an open mic that hears oohs in the crowd, and depending on what that decibel meter is, or the those sounds all matriculate into one, I guess, metric, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we would call. That's how I would capture the how hard the hits are by audience reaction.
Yeah, that 31 number that you indicated, 31 over how many games has it been? 8 games. Let's do proper math here. 31
Let's
divided
note the math
by
again, listeners.
8. That's almost 4 a game.
Yeah.
That's I don't know where that ranks nationally, but to be producing 4 sacks a game, going against teams that have competent offensive lines in a division where
Right.
those teams have big linemen. It's not like you're going against some Patriot League teams where some of the centers are like 5'11".
Oh boy, here we go. Here come the Patriot League fans.
Oh no, Holy Cross! Shut up! Shut up! Do we have Patriot League fans?
Who else is in it? Is Robert Morris in it?
No, not anymore. They're in the.
Who the hell's in the Patriot League? Did they get dissolved?
Lehigh and Lafayette. So,
oh no!
quick tangent. So my stepmom's dad played football at Lehigh, like way back when, and I always give him a hard time because Lehigh sucks. They're terrible. So I always give him a hard time whenever any chance I get.
Your stepmom's dad. So he's probably in his 70s. You're busting the balls
80s
of an 80-year-old
and a man that played on the team. I think he's a booster too. I know I'm an asshole. Besides the point, doing that against 4 sacks a game against good linemen is something to make note of. It is highly productive. What was if I could pull it up, what was the South Dakota State number? Theirs wasn't as good.
25.
20. Yes, that's still a good number, but it's not as good. I think this really might turn into a defensive battle if we're really thinking about it. It's who can shut down the opposing team's run game is really going to be the determiner.
It could be. We will both agree that's the strongest facet of each team, right? The run game. I think it opens up the pass very well for both teams. So
right, and if I'm giving the nod to one team pass wise, they're very comparable run game wise. Pierre Strong is a different animal. He's unstoppable.
Right.
They don't have anyone like that on North Dakota State, but pass game clear ahead for South Dakota State.
All right. Well, Joe, my great uncle who played at Marist is on the phone. If you want to start insulting him, I'll put him on with you. If you want to tell him how big of a chotch he is.
They're the Pioneer League.
Same thing.
Put me in contact with wait. So your dad played at Tennessee Tech. Didn't your grandfather play somewhere?
Yeah, Middle Tennessee State.
Oh, I don't have any qualms with Middle Tennessee State. Why didn't you go to Middle Tennessee State? What the hell's wrong with you?
Hey,
why did you end up in Virginia? You could have been in a cool state.
Really?
Yeah, you could have been living in Memphis. You wouldn't rather be living in Memphis?
You want to do this bit?
Yeah, I'm doing this bit. Why you could have been living in Memphis? Why are you in Virginia?
You lived in Podunk, New Jersey, with nothing around it, with no cool bars, no city. You had to drive 40 minutes to get your haircut.
It's 20. I lived outside New York City. What are you talking about? Yes, I did.
You're a liar.
I could walk to the train station from the suburban town that I lived in that had a lot of bars in it and stuff to go do.
It did.
And I could go to all the small cities in New Jersey, and I could go to freaking New York City in 30 minutes.
You could.
What the hell are you talking
now
about?
Living in the quietest, lamest part of Los Angeles, which happens to have the worst neighbors that you can ask for. So if we want to talk about where someone is staying at, I'm in DC. You know, I'm living sweet.
Overrated.
Okay,
it's overrated.
Keep it up.
Does anyone actually think DC is nice? I don't think so. Sean, let's do FC estimates. So you're pissed off about math. What did I do wrong?
Hey, let's take a general consensus about what people think about New Jersey. Let's take a general consensus.
Okay.
See how highly they rank. I've never ever heard anybody say any other state that tangibly has a scent as soon as you drive into it.
It doesn't have a scent.
You're a liar. You are you do not tell the truth.
Maybe it's the crap above your lip that you're smelling. Have you thought about that?
I'm not the only one that said this.
Maybe those people have the same problem. Because people from New Jersey don't smell it.
This is a national consensus. Hey, you live with a cat, you forget what cat turd smells like. All right, that's all I'm going to say.
Do you have a cat?
No, but that's the thing. You go scent deaf.
Okay. All right, FC estimates. Why are you mad about the math?
You wanted to do this. You wanted to do the Jersey, Virginia thing.
That's what Why are you? How are we at 30 minutes? Why are you mad about the math?
Because you're asking me to do the math for you, which makes me think of your confidence level in the math is not very good.
I did not ask the
Oh,
math's correct. I did it
what do
with a
we have here? I
calculator.
hope it's correct. What do we have here?
You can count them. Okay, besides the
boy.
point, I had another crap week. I go 6 for
Oh.
10. 74% is my current total percentage, 68 for 92. Sean beats me out by 1 while he's drinking his twisted tea. 64-92, and he's at 70% right now. So I will admit the gap is closing at this point, but it's still, there's not enough time in my eyes for you to complete the comeback.
Hey, here's the thing. All I've done is soak in my victories, and that's all I'm going to continue to do. I could go back and shower tonight, but I'm just going to take a bath. I'm going to fill it up with
That's
all
gross.
these W's. I'm just going to W coming out of the faucet. You know what Joe's going to do? He's going to sit in his stink. He's going to sit in his jersey, loss, getting caught up, stink. Remember when he had like that 9 for 10 week and everyone thought
I was 10 for 10. I had a perfect week. Respect the 10 for 10.
Everybody, remember when he was like 90% that week and he thought he was like the best thing in the world? Now I'm 4 games back. And I'm telling you what, hearing him go through the FC estimates, how'd you get that one right? How'd you get that? Oh, you're so lucky.
You're guessing. You're completely guessing. I'm never picking Idaho again. Hammond, I blame you. I tried to be nice, and I blame it on you. This is your fault, Hammond.
Say the magic word.
What, call him a hack?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, because it's not directly his fault. The Idaho is a bunch of hacks.
Okay. Idaho, city of hacks. Look, all I'm saying is that all I've said this year is I'm going to stay consistent and stay strong. Joe eventually is going to start taking chances, which I know that's what he does. That's what he always does. And when he does that, that's when he fumbles and folds and stinks.
Are we including the we're not including the playoff bracket, right?
Why not?
Well, I feel no, I'm thinking out loud here. I don't think we've done that before.
Maybe we haven't. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a separate one.
We did do a separate one last time.
Look at him trying to weasel out, thinking that he might blow to the playoffs.
No. Wait, how many more weeks of games do we have left?
This is the Week 10 preview.
We're in Week 10. There are 3 more weeks.
Oh, he's so
after
scared.
This week.
Oh, is he scared?
I'm not scared. I have one good week. You're donezo, buddy.
I have good weeks. I've consistently had good weeks.
Speaking of good weeks, here comes mine. Eastern Kentucky at SFA. Stephen F. Austin.
Eastern
the School of Dustin Hilton. I'm also picking Eastern Kentucky. Sorry, Dustin. Montana State at Eastern Washington.
Montana State.
Mistake. Give me Barrier and the boys. Okay. Ewoo all day.
That is a non-confident cheer right there.
That is a very confident
He did not
cheer.
have any confidence in that one. You heard how he died out?
You know what I'm confident in, Sean?
Oh, here we go.
Portland State, Weaver State. Portland State, Weaver State.
I'm taking Weaver State to win.
I will. This is my Austin P this year.
Oh my God.
This is my Austin P. I have consistently picked them, and they have consistently given me good results. Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm
Sean,
waiting.
can you hear me? This goddamn thing.
Yes, please. You're Austin P.
The internet just completely derailed what I was just about to do. Thank you. Yeah, I did Sacramento or Portland State. I'm picking Portland State. I'm so upset. I hate the internet here. Portland State. They're gonna win. God damn it. That aggravates the shit out of me. That absolutely aggravates the shit out of me. Sela, the incarnate word. God damn it.
Sela.
Go ahead.
Southeast of Louisiana.
I just dude, I had a whole
I know you had a whole setup. You're like he's going through it. Yeah. It's a bummer. At least you didn't swipe yourself out of the stream this time.
I that would have been less bad. It would have given me time to build more momentum.
Less bad.
Yeah,
others would use the word better.
Less bad. I'm so out of steam right now, man.
I know. I'm trying to push you. I'm trying to get you up.
6 o'clock. I got 3 more hours of work. I picked Selah for this one. William and Mary.
I'm taking Delaware.
I wrote William and Mary Delaware.
Oh my God, Joe! The best way to get your steam and to close out the show is to move faster.
I refuse. Who did you pick for this game?
I'm taking Delaware.
All right, I'm picking William and Mary. South Dakota at Western Illinois.
South Dakota to win.
Give me South Dakota. I'm riding South Dakota this whole weekend. Holy crap! Did I not put in? I did not put in the one. Read the next one.
Northern Iowa at Illinois State. I am taking Northern Iowa to win. Joseph.
Folks, can you please just help us, give us more support on the show?
What do you mean, folks? They're not listening anymore.
Can we get? I just want to dedicate more time. No. I mean, the listenership has. You're probably right that the specific listeners probably aren't listening this far into the episode, but our listenership continues to go up. But please help us expand our listenership so we can focus our energy on this and not not do what we're doing right now. You talked to which one did you say? Give me
Northern. Thank you.
Give me UNI. Southern Illinois, Missouri State.
Southern Illinois.
I picked Southern Illinois as well. Give me the Saluk Vamai Etsu.
VMI to win. A little risky, but I'm taking them.
I took ETSU. And then the Dinger, South Dakota State, the one that I almost forgot to put in, South Dakota State and North Dakota State.
Call me a madman, but I think the presence of us is going to get South Dakota State to win. I'm taking the home team.
It would be very hack if I also picked South Dakota State. So I am going to pick the Bison.
You are a liar. You wanted the Bison to win, and you think they're going to win. You are a liar.
I'm going to be wearing Bison gear to the tailgate.
Go to the YouTube page and look at this liar's face. He is diverting eye contact. He is doing all the signs of a liar. His face got red. Look, Joe just lied to you all. I truly believe South Dakota State's going to win. Joe is trying to pass it off as it's some radio bit as to why he has to pick North Dakota State. He thinks they're going to win, and he doesn't want me to catch up. So that's what he's doing. Oh, do you stink? Oh, I caught you. All right, everybody. This was the FCS football podcast.
Go to bed. We're going to do a bunch of content.
Presented by the Believe Podcast Network. I'm Sean Anderson. This is Joe DeLeone. You can follow us on Twitter at Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio. Check out Believe Podcasts wherever you can find them. Believe spelled BLEAV. Tons of NFL content, tons of MLB content. Shows like ours, shows completely the opposite of ours. So if you completely dislike us, go ahead, listen to something else. There's 400 shows on the network.
Why would you encourage that?
All right, everybody. Next time you'll be hearing us, we'll be in Brookings, South Dakota.
Pray for us.